Hey, it's Julianne. Welcome to my sketchbook. I'll be honest, I've tried to record this voiceover like twice already, so I'm that bad at talking. But today's video is about a book cover that I made, so I wanted to talk about that. What we're working on is a book cover that I made in Photoshop, and this is for a pirate anthology. So what is not being depicted here was the first thing I did, which was that I made the layout of the actual book in InDesign. So I have several stories set in a pirate world that, if you've seen other speed paints on my channel or shorts or anything, you've seen these characters, but I've written a few short stories in this world that are not related to the main plot necessarily, that I thought would be cute if I put them all together in an anthology. So that's what this is essentially. So I put them all together in InDesign, laid them out, did all that, which I didn't include in here just because it's not particularly interesting to watch me lay out type. If you want to see me do that, I can make a video about that, maybe more of a step-by-step, but I wanted to focus more on the book cover that I made for this video. So this is my first time ever trying to make a book cover in Photoshop, and so the goal with this was to try and make a realistic looking composition with some type over it, which is a pretty common YA book cover design for fantasy. Not anything particularly groundbreaking. I just wanted to try my hand at recreating something like that in my own style. So that's what this is essentially. Obviously it's pirate themed, so I composited 2 ocean images together, and then I added an anchor in the background with some chains. I think the color correction looks okay on it. I'm not like it stands out or anything, so yeah. And then for the type, I set it in Illustrator and then I brought it over to Photoshop to add all the effects. And I started out by trying to just bring in like a gold texture from a stock photo, but that was not giving me the effect I wanted. So I decided to do just the color instead, and I used a lot of different little effects to try and make it look realistic and like it was popping out. I went to a couple people to try and get some feedback on this, and one person said that it looked cheesy. And I'm not sure if he meant that it was cheese colored or that it was like stereotypically piratey. Regardless, I darkened the gold color to make it look a little rustic and not be as crazy bright gold. And I messed around with the effect settings so much, and they don't look that different honestly, but I think the darker gold, and what I specifically did, I think that really helped, was I added like a really thin outline of lighter gold yellow around each of the letters, just a thin stroke, and I think that made them pop a lot more. Also made the anchor a little bit bigger so it was more of a foreground object. And I added my name at the bottom because I wrote it. That's pretty much the front cover. Alright, so for the back, honestly, I didn't really have much of a vision going for the back of the cover. I didn't really plan it out while I was making the front cover, which bit of a rookie mistake. But I tried to do just like a continuation of the front cover, and then the spine is kind of a different color, so they're not super connected, so you can't tell that like they don't actually connect very well, but they kind of look like they do. That was the goal with that, the little tricks that you can do. Anyway, for the back cover text, I didn't want to do a blurb because I had no idea what to actually put for a blurb of an anthology. So I did a little excerpt from one of the stories instead, which was a letter that one of the characters writes. Now, you may notice, if you look really closely, the character's name, her last name is really similar to my last name. And before you get all up in arms about making a self-insert character, I just want to point out kind of the basis for a lot of these short stories is that they're supposed to be self-inserts. The self-inserts are the B cast. The actual main characters have nothing to do with me or anyone I know, but the B cast that I've created are interpretations of me and some of my friends in this world getting up to little adventures. They're not actually part of the main story. It's just for fun. So that's why her name is similar to mine, is because she is supposed to be a main character in it, or a self-insert character, and it's supposed to be obvious. So don't come at me for making self-insert characters. I know how it looks, but anyway, that aside, yeah, I wanted to include this letter, so I used an actual letter texture or a paper texture, and then I just laid the text on top of it, and I think that looked pretty cool. I don't know that I've ever really seen a book do that, but I'm sure they have. But it was just me trying to be a little creative. The spine ended up being pretty simple. It's just I put my name and the title. I was trying to put it like horizontally at first, but the spine is too thin for that. I don't know if I should have made the spine thicker, but I made it pretty thin, so I had to put all of them vertical instead, which isn't like typical for books. I think a lot of the time you'll see the author name be horizontal, although now that I'm looking at my bookshelf, it's kind of 50-50, honestly, so maybe just disregard that. But yeah, I just put my name in the title, and then I tried to put a little anchor on it as well, but I got told that didn't look quite right, so I removed it, and I found a little font that's just illustrated symbols, which I thought was really cute, and so I put a few of those on there for some added decoration. And that just about wrapped it up, honestly. So there you go. That is my attempt at a Photoshop pirate cover for a book. I will show you the finished mock-ups and what the interior looks like so you can see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, that is the finished project. If you guys like seeing graphic design on my channel, let me know. It's probably going to be a mix of graphic design and illustrated things, probably also incorporating both of them in the same thing. The projects that I like to make definitely tend to incorporate both. This was purely graphic design today, but I know I definitely like to make stuff that includes both illustration and graphic design. So if you want to see more of that, definitely subscribe, and if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave links for that below. I definitely post a lot more on there than I do here, so if you want to stay up to date with what I'm getting up to, then you can check that out. But that is going to be it from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!